What's going on, guys? This is Snoop603, and today I have a bit of a special video that's basically a follow-up to my Battlefield 4 First Impressions video I did on the day of release. In that video, I gave the game a glowing review because at the time that I played it, the server loads were light and I just didn't see any of the issues that most people see today. What I want to do with this video is go over everything again and give a more rounded, up-to-date, all-inclusive review of Battlefield 4, but based on my 100 plus hours of the game experience. There's a lot that I want to cover though, so I'm going to do this over several videos and cover each topic separately. With the first video, I'm going to cover everything regarding the things you use in the game, such as the weapons, gadgets, battle packs, and so on. I'll start it off with something that is always a hot topic with first-person shooters, the weapons. Now, as far as balance goes, overall, I think they've done a really good job. To me, I don't think there are any standout weapons in Battlefield 4 like the M16A3 was in Battlefield 3. There are a few guns I certainly get sick of seeing due to like the one-hit kill bug, but that's not necessarily at the fault of the gun, it's just a bug within the game, but I'm going to get to that part in another video as far as the whole bug issue. I think that there's good variety in each class. I like how they broke it up a bit more and made the carbines and DMRs available for all classes, or carbines, however you want to pronounce it. See, now that was one of the complaints about Battlefield 3, that there wasn't enough all-kit weapons to choose from. So in Battlefield 4, we now have the carbines, DMRs, and shotguns for all the class weapons. The good thing about that is it allows more players to have a reason to use all of the classes and not just get stuck with, say, the assault class because it always had the best guns. And it really gives you an option for any and all ranges to be used in any of the classes, so props to DICE regarding that. If you want to play close range or mid range or long range, you can either use a shotgun or any of the DMRs or any of the carbines, it depends. Whatever role you want, there is a gun within every single class that will cover that range. So as far as the guns go, I'll give DICE a 4 out of 5 on that. Now, I may be easy to please, but I think they did a really good job overall with the balance of the guns, how they spread out the weapons among the classes, and that there's no standout, overpowered weapon to me whatsoever. Now, the only knock against them is that I hate the DMR sound to no end, so out of spite, I'm going to dock them a point for that. Moving on, let's talk about the gadgets. This is an area I'm not very pleased with when it comes to the overall balance, execution, and implementation of the gadgets. In short, they made everything too easy with all these lock-on bullshit gadgets. They put too much power in the hands of infantry and given little incentive to get into any vehicle, particularly anything in the air. Now in Battlefield 4, we have 3 different missile launchers that are frickin' capable of locking on via a laser-designated target. That's too much power for infantry, when they could already use the RPG or SMAW to easily hit ground vehicles, or use the Javelin if they really felt they needed a way to lock onto vehicles. But at least with the Javelin in Battlefield 3, the reload time was very long, and you didn't get many rockets to use, but it was still very easy to lock onto a tank and get one shot on target. Now we have things like the MBT Law, so while it's low on damage, it's still an instant lock-on guided missile, and the SRAW is an even more powerful, even easier to use missile that is capable of taking down even ground or air. On top of all that, you get the Stinger, which is a fire-and-forget anti-air missile, making it insanely to use, and then the Igla, which is a mobility kill at medium-range launcher. It's everything they've done, they have just put way too much power with ridiculous ease of use in this game as far as the gadgets are concerned, particularly with the engineer class. I felt that Battlefield 3 actually had a really nice balance at the end of the game when they tweaked the missile lock ranges and who had flares as well as the repair times. What they've done in Battlefield 4 is completely removed the skill required to play this game as far as playing infantry against any vehicle. So as far as the gadgets go, I'm giving DICE a 2 out of 5. The only good things that they did was give more balance to the classes by giving the Recon C4, but still allowing the Sport class to have it, and making the class selection to be a pick any 2 system, instead of the you can only pick any of these 3 gadgets for Gadget 1, and only these 3 other ones for Gadget 2 like they had in Battlefield 3. It's 2 big steps forward there, but 5 bigger steps back with these new easy mode, no skill required gadgets that they've added. Now on to the battle packs. Overall, I think it was a good idea, but not completely perfect execution, because some of the weapons don't have all the attachments available yet, as DICE missed some. But it's really a rare issue, so I'm not going to get too hung up on it, but I feel it's just something that I should mention. This is kind of a novel way to get you to really earn all the attachments for a gun, but you get the best attachments for nearly every gun at 200 kills, or at least I feel that way, but they are pretty universal attachments. And at 200 kills, that's not even half of the max kills needed to unlock everything. So I feel like it was kind of a wasted idea in the end. Realistically though, I'm okay with this. I don't want to have to grind through 500 kills with a gun to get the most commonly used attachments. So I'm fine with this. There's not really a whole lot more to be said about this though. I'm going to give DICE 3 out of 5 on the whole battle pack idea. I'm not saying they did bad with it, but they didn't do great either. It's just what they did was acceptable. It was a decent idea with pretty decent results, and while I think that they wanted everyone to get those 500 kills with the gun to really feel like they've earned everything to really master the gun, you certainly don't need to get there. About 200 kills is really all you need to get most of the good attachments for a gun and have a really good feel for it. Last but not least, the field upgrades. I'm only going to lightly touch on this because, to me, there's not much worth discussing here. In short, I like what they've done, because no longer do I have to worry about coordinating perks with squad members, whether they're friends or randoms. I do kind of miss that flexibility of coordinating the perks, though, to be more custom tailored to specific maps and game modes, but it's really not a huge loss overall in my opinion. I'm going to give DICE a 4 to 5 for the idea. Like I said, I do like that it's something I don't have to focus on anymore whatsoever. The game kind of takes care of it for me. But at the same time, I get a talking point because having that freedom when playing with a full squad of friends to completely customize it to get the best bang for your buck, depending on what the situation really required, I miss that. Not being able to have that freedom anymore, I get a dockable point for it. So overall, for these specific topics alone, where we're talking about the weapon balance, the gadgets, the battle packs to get your attachments and your camos, and the field upgrades, my scores average out to a 3.25 out of 5. They scored just slightly above average. At least in my opinion. I'm not really throwing out anything ironclad here as far as facts go. It's all purely opinion and it's all subjective, and that's the whole point of this. It's all based off of my personal experiences with that 100 hours of gameplay thus far into the game. I'm actually a little bit over 100 hours at this point, but to me, where they were able to do really well on, it kind of helps to make up for where they've struck out in other areas. Overall, in the big picture, they've done a slightly better than average or slightly better than just acceptable in my books, so take that for what it's worth. Alright guys, it's going to wrap up this first part of my Battlefield 4 100-hour review. Over the next few days, I'm going to cover in depth the maps that we have available to us so far, the game modes, and the overall quality, and give the game as a whole a final review in the final video. If there's some other aspect or viewpoint you'd like me to cover in those videos, just let me know down in the comments below. Otherwise, tell me what you think of on everything I've covered in this video, as I want to hear everyone's opinions as well. Thanks for watching, I'll catch you on the next video.